Guys, I'm going to start this one again. Sorry, I had a coughing fit with my allergies, so let's start this one all over. Okay. Today, I'm talking about 10 of the most inexpensive health that you can buy every week that'll help you save money and that'll help you eat healthy. A lot of times people think that they can't eat healthy foods because it's way too expensive. And a lot of times people confuse organic with healthy. And there's a big difference because there's plenty of non-organic food that's healthy for you. And organic is just how it's grown. Okay, so let's start talking about healthy and expensive food that won't break the bank. In fact, it can amount to less expense on your grocery budget if you know what to buy. It's kind of like when you buy food that's in season. It's the same way because it's a lot cheaper. So there are many inexpensive options for healthy ingredients that you can stock your kitchen with week after week. And knowing what they are will mean that you can get to eat healthy foods and save money. I'm all about saving money. So what should you shop for at the grocery store? Well, here are the 10 of the most inexpensive healthy foods that you can start stocking up on. Broccoli. I know a lot of kids don't like broccoli, and a lot of adults. I personally love it. It's also incredibly inexpensive, whether you buy it fresh or frozen. And it has loads of vitamin C, K, and folate every time you eat it. So you can use it raw as a snack or on salads. You can make a stir fry, which broccoli is one of those go-tos for pretty much all stir fries. Steam it for a side dish, which is what I do all the time. Or make a lightened version of a broccoli casserole. My broccoli casserole is fresh broccoli, fresh cauliflower that's already like in pieces, fresh Brussels sprouts. Cut those in half. Put them all in a casserole dish. Put coconut oil all over it, some garlic powder, and cook in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes on 400. And it like just makes them all crunchy and really good. And for people that don't like Brussels sprouts, my daughter doesn't like it, and she'll eat this because they don't taste like Brussels sprouts. They taste like roasted veggies. So, but yeah, so broccoli is one that's very good for you. Spinach. With a lot of lettuce is recalled because of E. coli. Every summer you see that. So spinach is one of the safer ones to get. Plus, it's really inexpensive for the big bag. It's full of good stuff, just like broccoli. It is rich with vitamin C, K, folate, plus it has vitamin A and manganese too. So most people will put it as a base to their salad. They'll put the spinach and they'll put like spring mix or something on it. But you can put it in soups, stews, saute it, or even put it in with a smoothie. When I used to make my own juice with the veggies and fruits, I would just buy frozen spinach and throw it right in there. And you didn't even know it was in there. Because my beets, I would put beets in there and that would be the flavor I could taste the whole time. But yeah, spinach is a really good one that's very inexpensive. The next one is sweet potatoes. My favorite. If you watched me last week with my 5-day challenge, and I talked about when I went grocery shopping, I went this morning, bought my sweet potatoes, made them and my meatballs this morning already in my air fryer. The sweet potatoes are one of the healthiest and longest lasting items you can stock your kitchen with. A large bag of sweet potatoes can last several weeks, and you get beta carotene, B vitamin, so more than just one, and potassium. And it's also filled with fiber, so you'll feel fuller longer, which means that you're not going to have your insulin spiking, and you're not going to feel like a crash after you eat a white potato or any white flour foods. But yeah, so I just chopped mine up this morning, put them in the air fryer, and I'll eat them for dinner with quinoa and veggies. And for breakfast, I'll heat them up and then put an avocado on it. But yeah, one bag one bag could last you a while, like a large bag, but mine, it won't last more than a week in my house because I eat them at least twice a day. So they're really healthy for you, and they are a very good long-lasting carb. These are one of those good carbs that you want to eat, not the white floury carbs that make you hungry in like 5 minutes. Okay, canned tomato. Most people use them for soups, stews, and casseroles. They do have the low sodium version that you want to make sure you get. Also, make sure the cans are BPA free. It doesn't have that chemical in it, because I buy the whole peeled tomatoes when I make my homemade pasta sauce, which I'm making later on today. And make sure it's BPA, and a lot of times I'll buy organic too, just for that extra goodness. But yeah, I have chopped the canned diced tomatoes on hand for when I make my chili in the wintertime. But yeah, having these on hand, you can throw it in any recipe, and they're super cheap. So watch for sales at your grocery store, because they might have one of those like BOGO, buy one get one free kind of things, or just marked down. So yeah, that's a good time to stock up. Brown rice. Okay, it's inexpensive, it's full of fiber, and it's full of vitamins and minerals. Now, brown rice may help also reduce the risk of those unwanted health issues because it doesn't have the white flour and sugar stuff that all the other white foods have. So those are all stripped of nutrients, anything that's white. So that's why the darker grains and things like that are better for you, because their nutrients are not removed. So if you're just eating white rice, you're not getting any nutrients from it, and it's just causing your blood sugar to spike, or anything else, white flour. Okay. Other than brown rice, other gluten-free grains that you can stock up on are quinoa. I'm always have quinoa. In fact, I bought more today because I eat quinoa in my dinner bowl with the sweet potatoes and veggies, broccoli sometimes. So some other ones you could get are buckwheat, amaranth, and sorghum. I haven't tried those, but they are still a healthier version than the white flours. Beans, oh my gosh. I have so many gallon mason jars full of beans in my pantry. I buy dried beans, and those are like, oh my gosh, under like $1 a bag. So I'll stock up on those. When the stores were running out of food last year with COVID, I was stocking up on beans because that's what I was going to have to be cooking if we couldn't get meat for my husband. I mean, I'll eat beans all the time because of being vegan, but I was making sure I had that for protein for him. But these are fiber rich. They have iron, folate, magnesium, and potassium. They are protein. So a lot of vegans will eat, or vegetarians will eat, beans for their protein. You can get them canned or dried. When I buy them dry, I store them dry. And when I know I'm going to need them, or a lot of times I'll just cook like a whole bunch. I'll soak them overnight, then cook them, and then I freeze them. And then I have them ready for anything that I need, like my chilies, my hummus. I make my homemade hummus, so I buy chickpeas like crazy. And I'll soak them, and then I'll put them in individual containers and freeze them. And then that way I pull it out to thaw it out like I did this morning to make my hummus for the week. So they're super, super, super easy, and oh my gosh, super cheap. Like way cheap. Like a whole bag of beans is $1, and you're not even going to use a whole bag in one recipe. Like if you make like a chili, you might use that if you make like a big pot of chili. But most of the time you won't use that many beans. So they're really inexpensive and healthy to have in your kitchen. Bananas. Okay. Not a fan of bananas, just saying. It's about the only fruit that I won't eat. But they are a fantastic option when you're looking for inexpensive produce. My husband eats bananas. He buys a bunch every week. They are barely $1. whether he gets organic or non-organic, they're like $1 for like 7 or 8 of them. So they're super inexpensive, and they are full of potassium, which will help if you eat a lot of sodium foods, like processed foods that are high in sodium. This will help counteract that. And there's other ones, if you're not a fan of bananas like me, that are long lasting and affordable, which would be apples and oranges, because those can pretty much stay in your fridge for a few weeks without going bad. So, and they're inexpensive. Bananas are really super inexpensive though. All right, berries. Berries are some of the best superfoods that you can buy, packed full of antioxidants and a slew of vitamins. The antioxidants, for those that don't know, help fight the free radicals that are like our cancer-causing free radicals in our body. So the more berries you eat, it counteracts that, and it eats the free radicals and keeps them at bay. So when you find them in season, snag them up for super cheap. Okay, when they're off season, that's when they're more expensive. You can use them in smoothies and also freeze them, but you can also buy them in the freezer section. I'll buy the big bag of strawberries, blueberries, and is it boysenberries or blackberries, and put them in smoothies, and they're already like, yeah, I don't have to even buy the fresh, they're already frozen. But they're really cheap. When they are in season, they're cheap. Not in season, not so cheap. Strawberries are one though that I would go with organic first. Strawberries are on the Dirty Dozen list from that's out there about like the ones that absorb the pesticide. Strawberry is the #1 fruit that is susceptible to pesticides. So I would try and go with organic. If not, just go with the regular ones. But yes, buy them when they're on sale or in season. Okay. Now eggs. Eggs are, 1 egg will give you 6 grams of protein. Okay. So if you can find a container of cage-free organic eggs, it's an inexpensive food to have on hand. Okay. And if you can find a local source, that's even better, because buying them fresh is the best. Boil them, chop them up on salads, scramble them. I used to eat eggs all the time, but when I went vegan, I eat eggs very little now. But yeah, you can make a quiche with them with the spinach. You can saute the spinach and do the whole quiche thing. But yeah, they're very versatile, and they're great protein for kids if they like the hard-boiled eggs, and let them snack on that, and it's so much healthier. Okay, now lastly, the last one I want to talk about is popcorn. However, it's not the popcorn that you buy in that huge big bag for dirt cheap that's full of chemicals and stuff that's not good for you. What you want to do is just buy the kernels. Some people may have an air popper, and you can pop them like that. But what you could do is just get a brown bag like you would for lunch, put the kernels in, put a 1/4 cup of the kernels in that brown bag, close it up, put it in the microwave on high until you hear the popping stop. And then you can make your own that way. But if you have an air popper, that's even better too, to do it, because then you can control what you put on it. You can put very little salt on it. You can put your own toppings. If you put butter on it, you can get the grass-fed butter or the better butter for you, not the margarine that's full of chemicals. Okay. So hopefully this helps you have a clear picture of some inexpensive healthy food that you can afford to buy. Okay, a lot of people, like I said before, mix up healthy versus organic. Yes, organic, I'll talk a whole thing about what organic food is, but healthy doesn't have to be expensive. And the 10 foods that I covered are all healthy foods and are very inexpensive. Popcorn, I'm not sure of, because I don't eat popcorn because it's white, it's corn. I don't eat corn because it's genetically modified, so I don't need the extra chemicals that are in it, but a lot of people still eat it. If you find organic, that's the way to go because it won't have the GMOs in it. But the rest of those foods are all healthy and inexpensive. So always buy in season. Not always, but in season can be cheaper. Sometimes you have to buy out of season, which is fine. I do that too. But sticking to in-season foods and then looking for the ones that are inexpensive, you can still afford those and it's not going to break the bank, and you know that you're eating healthy and you're feeding your kids and your family something healthy. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.